Namaste, beautiful yogis. Today I wanted to come on and do kind of like a podcast talking about spiritual subjects, and I'll just contemplate on two subjects. The first one is when we have negative people in our life, how we deal with it. And now the positive movement, the New Age movement, of course, would tell you to always stay positive and to not allow negative people into your life, which is great advice. But what happens when you don't have a choice? The person in your life is not someone you can remove from your life. There is no choice of you removing yourself from a situation. You have to tolerate it for a long or a short while. What do you do then? In those cases, you have to understand that life has a way of working that is beyond what most of us, all of us, I should say, can understand in the smallness of the moment, in the tininess of the moment. Sometimes the people in our life are there to protect us from something, to prevent us from something, to prepare us from something. Sometimes something is coming your way that will require your patience, your capacity to stay grounded in the face of distress, challenge, and those people will allow us to acquire those qualities. People that are quote-unquote negative can allow us to grow in adversity, to develop qualities that are very needed for something future. So bless those people, understand that something bigger might be coming your way, and this is going to be just a pebble on your path, and there's something bigger that this particular person is preparing you for. Or they are preparing you to develop spiritual qualities in the grand scheme of things, so they're preparing you to be patient. So when things happen, you have the patience to stay connected to the divine within. Because if small things disconnect you from the divine within, then you will not be able to spiritually ascend, to develop spiritual qualities that are needed in order for you to shift into your next stage of consciousness. Ultimately, we are here to develop deeper awareness, to connect deeply to the divine within, not in a religious or in even whatever the spiritual way now is, but in a deep, profound, personal way. So that's one way to look at it. You have to bless and understand every situation as an opportunity to grow, especially through adversities. Through adversities we grow. Through challenges we grow. Not always there is no growth in just an easy, happy life. Sometimes the biggest blessing in your life is that your life is not easy, that it's not blessed in the way you think you should be. The blessing is a blessing in disguise, is in the challenges. And not always a blessing that is an obvious blessing is an actual blessing. Sometimes there is nothing, no blessings in joy, no blessings in wealth. Sometimes the blessing is in the other stuff that we try to avoid in life. And that's why we have to have acceptance and humility when things are thrown our way, and also even gratitude. Gratitude is so important when things are thrown our way, and always stay connected to that deep flame within, wherever we feel it. Some of us feel it in the gut, in the solar plexus. Some of us feel it deep in the sacrum. Some of us feel it in the third eye. We all have a different way of understanding things. That's why sometimes looking at your human design chart online, you can, and there is free charts, you can understand where your intuition resides from those charts. And sometimes your astrology chart will tell you how to understand your own soul and mind, because Although the chart is not something that is eternal, it will not follow you through lives or past this life, but it's something that will help you to understand your situation right now, and that is very important. So without overemphasizing on astrology or on charts and such, just understanding that they're a tool. And also developing spiritual qualities through practice, but not giving your practice a precedent, or not allowing the practice to be what develops things within. You should be able to have the power within to feel that you're developing, even when you don't have perfect circumstances, when you're not eating perfect food, when you're not having perfect surroundings, perfect relatives, when you don't have time for yoga, etc. Because if we're that dependent on perfection, then we are damned. There is no hope, because we're just feeling connected when everything is right and perfect. But life doesn't work that way, because the opposite of karma is lila, which is the divine chaos, which is the unpredictable in life. And that is as much as a law, universal law. Even actually that is because karma is temporary and lila is eternal. So we're always going to be first feeling karma, which is the law of consequences, action and reaction, and lila, which is the wild card, the unpredictable, the chaos, the divine uniqueness, profoundness, love. Anyway, so that's the first discussion. We can deepen it later. The second is how do we create health? First, it is the understanding that sickness is sometimes a blessing and a rerouting, because our soul basically is the creator of health in the body. Only the soul can heal the body. The mind cannot heal the body. The mind can sicken the body, but cannot heal the body. There is no healing in the mind. The mind is of this dimension, of this time, and the soul is timeless. It's outside of this dimension and of this time frame, or of linear time. So the soul can heal the body. Sometimes when the body is sick, it is rerouting us. It is preventing us from committing a crime or creating a life of no connection to God. Because sometimes when a person that is not ready becomes very wealthy or very famous or very known or very successful, they can waste that a lifetime, and that becomes a no blessing. Maybe it looks like a blessing on the outside. That's why when we have a health issue that reroutes us, stops us from doing something, protects us, prevents us from doing something, we have to again bless it and understand the depth of things, that this life is so quick and so short, and a little adversity now is really nothing in the great path of our soul. And all of it will just be over before we know it. So understanding and connecting with the purpose that brought us here, that can actually heal us. Because if we're connected to the divine love and we begin to uncover our purpose, our bigger purpose, because there is levels of purpose, then we can be given health, so we can create what we're here to do. But if we get off route, off track, a little disease can get us back on track, and it can get us to be enough introverted so that we can connect. If we don't have gratitude, then we're wasting the opportunity that we're given. That's why disease can be an opportunity and happiness can be a curse. And with that, I will conclude our session. I will talk to you soon. Namaste.